Hello, I'm Francis Bennion, a retired parliamentary counsel. I'm very worried about the possibility of introducing alternative voting, or AV. I'm now going to explain some of the reasons for my worries. One of the main things wrong with AV is that it rejects the natural way of voting. The natural way is to choose the person you favour from the list of candidates and reject the rest. The AV way is to number the entire list in the order of your preferences. This goes against your likely feeling, which is to reject every candidate but the one you favour. If you are a lifelong Labour supporter, you don't have much time for Conservatives or Lib Dems. Similarly, in other cases. Another thing that is wrong is that AV chiefly works by using second or subsequent preferences and treating them as equivalent in value to first preferences. They are not really equivalent. In my first video talk entitled Dishonesty of the Alternative Vote System, I demonstrated that to treat second and subsequent preferences as having the same value as first preferences, as AV does, is dishonest because their values are not the same. Every one of the electors whose second and subsequent preferences are counted in really wanted their first preference to be elected instead. This dishonesty expresses the important fact that underlying the controversy about whether we should or should not adopt AV, there lies a basic question. Do we believe the differences between political parties are fundamental and crucial, or do we believe they are largely cosmetic and relatively unimportant? The point is this: you could honestly give the first and subsequent preferences an equal value, as AV does, only if you believed there was no really important difference between the various political parties. If that belief were true, it wouldn't very much matter which candidate people voted for. But we don't think it is true, do we? It would mean the death of parliamentary democracy. We don't think the belief is true, even in the case of a coalition, such as the one that is governing us now. The present coalition consists of members of the Conservative Party and members of the Liberal Democrat Party, but it has one set of policies. So it may carry the impression that each of the two parties that compose the coalition has the same policy, so that it doesn't matter whether in a by-election you vote for the Lib Dem or the Conservative candidate. But that is not really so. At by-elections, each coalition party fights on its own, advocating its own distinctive set of policies. At the next general election, the coalition will cease to exist. I end by repeating a point I've made before, which is that AV erroneously treats second and subsequent preferences as equivalent in value to first preferences. This is a very common error, even among people who do not uphold the AV system. On the 7th of April, the Daily Telegraph described AV as a system, quote, where votes are cast in order of preference and redistributed until one candidate has at least 50% support, unquote. This is seriously inaccurate. A voter does not, quote, express support, unquote, for a candidate by giving him or her a second or subsequent preference. The candidate he or she really supports is the one for whom the voter expresses a first preference. What I have said in this talk might encourage you to vote no in the referendum on the 5th of May. Just let me remind you again of the official referendum question. It is, at present, the UK uses the first-past-the-post system to elect MPs to the House of Commons. Should the alternative vote system be used instead? I believe the answer is no. The referendum is being held under the Parliamentary Voting System and Constituencies Act 2011. If the majority vote yes, the Act provides for the United Kingdom electoral law to be changed accordingly. This will happen automatically, without the need for further legislation. I think there should be this need, so Parliament can have another look at the situation before committing itself permanently. I intend to issue another short video about this. So I say goodbye for the moment and hope you will be able to see the other video that I'm preparing.